This just keeps on getting worse and worse for the Dallas Mavericks and their fans from a comedy perspective. This seems like something out of a comedy movie, just when you see all these funny things happening to the Mavericks the last week or so. They're just suffering from just a series of embarrassments, and it's just never ending. It's like they did something to be cursed. I don't know who put a hex on the Mavericks, who put this curse on them. I wonder, just is someone playing around with some kind of Mavericks voodoo doll or something? Just it's pretty insane. Like it doesn't stop. And I'm sure the Maverick fans are going crazy that Anthony Davis, he dominated the first 3 quarters of this game. When you look at the stat line, I didn't watch this game, but I could see the stat line. He dominated it. He had 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks, and it looked like the Mavericks are going to have a statement game in the sense where they could somehow try to at least convince their fans that this trade was justified, or at least give their fans something to be hopeful about, that this team could possibly be a great team with Anthony Davis, that maybe they have a shot at fluking their way to winning a title. Just I think that was the hopes, and for 3 quarters it looked like that. Just that maybe this could work out. Maybe this won't be that bad after all. And then during the third quarter, the Houston Rockets center, I can't even say this guy's name correctly. I know people are going to get on me for pronouncing his name because we have a bunch of people who always get emotional when I mispronounce foreign players' names. But I'm going to say Alperen Sengun or Sengad. I've heard it's pronounced differently from so many people, so I don't know. So anyways, the Rockets center Sengun drove to the hole, and Davis tried to defend his drive, and he wasn't able to. Sengun got the basket, and Davis fell to the ground, just clutching his hand, it looked like. But now they're saying that it was some lower bodily injury that forced Davis out of this game. They won't say what it was. I speculate probably his back or something, maybe went out on that play. But that's not a good sign. That's a sign of a player whose body is declining when these types of injuries happen. And it's par for Anthony Davis's career. It's like a microcosm of his career that just whenever he puts a good stretch of basketball, and he always gets this weird fluky injury, and you're just staring at him like, what the hell? How could this happen? Like it just reinforces the nickname basketball fans have for him, which is Glass Man. He's made out of glass. So that sucks. But I would say one thing about Anthony Davis I've seen over the years, when he gets hurt, he tends to over exaggerate how bad the injury is from his reactions on the ground. Like it could be a simple minor injury and you would think that he tore his ACL or Achilles tendon or something, just the way he's rolling around in pain. He makes it look like it's like the worst thing in the world. So if you're a Mavericks fan, you got to hope that this is one of those cases where it wasn't as bad as it looked, and that he'll be back possibly the next game or after a few games. It's not that serious, but it has to be maddening that just as you thought you could just enjoy a good game out of Anthony Davis, suddenly this injury happens, and it shows to everybody why trading for him was such a risk. That's why I always thought it was ridiculous when Rob Pelinka was able to trick Nico Harrison in the sense that Luka couldn't get as much value as he wanted because there's a risk to Luka's conditioning, and that he's injury prone because he's in bad condition, and the Lakers can't afford to give up that many assets because of that. I'm thinking in my mind, like, well, you can say the same thing about Anthony Davis. He's also injury prone. So why should the Mavericks have to give up a lot to get him? Granted, I know it was just Luka Doncic they gave up, but to me that's a lot to get Anthony Davis, a guy who's injury prone. So it works both ways, and it just shows again how Nico Harrison got hoodwinked, and that he made a terrible decision. I still hold by this. Maybe the Mavericks will prove me wrong if Anthony Davis can stay healthy, but even with the healthy Davis, I still don't think they're going to get out of the West. So that's all I had to say about this.